Hey everyone, greeting from Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm Legend, joined by Molly. We have about 48 hours in Copenhagen. In this video here, we're just going to show you everything we do in our 48 hours in Copenhagen. One of the most famous foods in Copenhagen is hot dogs. You gotta come get hot dogs, and they've got a whole bunch of different hot dogs. We're at John's Hot Dog Deli. Actually getting pretty well reviewed for a whole bunch of different people. I don't speak the language, so I really don't know what any of these mean, but I got one of those coming, and one of those. If you're curious what this is, there's a couple different locations. Right now we're right outside the central train station here. Alright, so here are those hot dogs we got. They look very similar. I think mine is smaller than Molly's.
Yes.
Mine's pretty good though. Good quality dog. The two of these ran about 78 Danish krones, which in dollars, I have no idea how much that cost. But pretty good. So on our first night in Copenhagen, we've journeyed outside the city a little bit, about 10 kilometers north to Bakken, the oldest amusement park in the entire world. And it's not too expensive to get in here. A wristband, if you buy online, it's about 219 krone. And it's also free admission, so if you want to come up here and do like 1 or 2 rides, and then they've got like 10 bars and tons of restaurants. So it's a really, really fun place to spend an evening. Good morning, everyone. Today is our Explore Copenhagen day. I'm gonna go and see all the sights and that kind of thing. Stopped in for breakfast at this place, Lagerhuset, a big popular chain with kind of feels like a Starbucks of Denmark here. And I'm gonna show you the pastries we got. So I got this guy. It smells good, really soft. It was about 25 Danish krone. And Molly got a cinnamon roll. So one of the more famous sites here in Copenhagen is the statue of the Little Mermaid. And it's like pure simple. And that's all it is. So one cool thing about Copenhagen, it is a big cruise port. There's 2 ships in port today, and we saw a ship in port yesterday. So if you're a cruiser like we are, and you're going on a European cruise, you might be able to stop here. Probably be a pretty cool stop on a cruise ship. It's like a pirate ship. Cool statue over here. And no crowds by this one. Much nicer. So this bridge here takes you over to an old military fort. And kind of cool. You could show on my Google Maps. If it focuses, it's not focusing. There we go. It's like the fort was in the shape of kind of like a ninja star. Quick look of the inside of the fortress area. Did read the sign coming in, and there was very strict instructions: do not touch the cannons. It's kind of neat. They have the whole raised walkway along the outside of the ninja star-like thing. Not normally the biggest fan of graffiti, but I think that's a pigeon. Really, really cool fountain here. If you watch on my theme park videos, you know I love like water features and waterfalls in theme parks. So also if you got a cool fountain in your city, I'm going to enjoy it. Now coming at you from Amalia Portcullis, very famous palace here in Copenhagen. Really don't know what this thing's used for. It's more of Molly's thing than my thing.
It's the museum of the Danish family and home.
Okay, well there we go. That's where we are. It's pretty. I like the horse statue. So one cool thing about Copenhagen, you can drink on the street. I have no idea what brand of beer I'm currently drinking, but it's 10% alcohol by volume, so it would probably mess me up. You might think, hey Legend, why are you drinking at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday in Denmark? That's Wednesday. It's Wednesday? Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
I don't even know what day it is. Because I'm on vacation, that's why. Yeah, cool. So this is one of the more famous parts of town. This is New Haven, with all these colorful buildings, big canal. It's also where you can pick up some of your boat tours. And really, really pretty. I imagine this is like a haven for Instagram pictures and things like that. But for me, there's a whole bunch of different bars and restaurants over there on that side. Stop for a snack. Gonna eat some Rosenborg, which are these tasty looking treats. They come in all different flavors. Hazelnut, zebra, chocolate with milk coconut, all different stuff. White, what do we got over here? White strawberry. rum, grape, and nuts. That doesn't sound good. We got chocolate kisses. You know, I'm not really sure what this is. Molly, bite into it, give it a whirl. See what we got here. I think a tour bus just dropped out. We got way busier. It's like ice cream?
Marshmallow with like a wafer.
So it's kind of like a Malamar.
Kind of, yeah.
Shot here, there's a whole bunch of different bars and restaurants where you can sit outside and drink. People watching, I mentioned people watching is really good. Prices here, not so great. We did walk by one, and a burger was essentially going to run you 22 euros, which is insane. Some of the beer prices I saw was not bad at all, so definitely going to, you know, maybe grab a beer or two, but not going to eat here. Not all of them are crazy prices. Like some of them are actually pretty decent for. We're here around 11 a.m. So yeah, this is your lunch, brunch, or breakfast brunch pricing. It's not terrible. Pretty cool here. You could eat on this boat. Again, you know, not super cheap. Just looked at the roast beef sandwich. Going to run you about 118 krone or $20 American. But still, you get to eat on a boat in a super touristy part of town. It's pretty. There's a waffle shop here in New Haven, and I love the sign. So we're about to do one of the things I really was looking forward to doing in Copenhagen, going on a canal tour and a boat tour of the city. And cool thing about this, you get to drink on the boat. They just let you bring your beer on. Fun fact, these beers are the same price as the boat tour. Two different options for the boat tour here in New Haven. You can take this one here, over here on the left side of the canal. It's gonna run you 50 kroner. You go over there, they have a couple different versions of the tour. That one's 100 kroner. Both you could take your beer on, and we got these 1 liter Carlsbergs to enjoy on our 1 hour boat tour.
That one's with the Copenhagen pass.
Yeah, that one's, if you have the Copenhagen pass, you're gonna take those boats there. And then if you're curious where we bought these giant beers, pretty much like half these bars over here all kind of sell them 50 kroner, giant beer for your 1 hour boat tour. It should be a good time. So we just got off the boat tour here in New Haven, and it was really, really cool. It was wonderful. It was really like the first time since we've been here that I felt like, oh man, I'm totally in Europe. You go through so many sites and so many low bridges. I thought it was great. And I drank an entire 1 liter of beer during the boat tour. Molly, this was something you were really looking forward to.
Yeah, no, it was definitely probably a highlight of Copenhagen, and it's great for limited time like we have.
Yeah,
that we can
see
multiple,
so many stuff.
Yeah, multiple sites in one stop.
Yeah, and if you're enjoy your alcoholic beverages like I do, it's like essentially it's a floating bar for an hour, so that's cool too. So a little word of advice if you're street drinking. Leave your beer cans like in this thing here or on top of the trash can, because people come by and pick them up and recycle them, and they get money. It was essentially told by us to us from a bartender earlier, so that's a little bit of advice. So this building here is apparently getting redone, but look at that dragon statue on the entry. Also, we are now walking to lunch while drinking a hard cider, red rhubarb. It's weird. This cool looking building here is the Marble Church. Apparently, according to Molly. She said it costs money to go inside, so I don't think we're gonna do that. And I'm not very religious anyway. I don't need to go to the inside of a church. So I think we're gonna skip that part. So, you may have noticed from the last clip, Molly wandered into the Marble Church.
Yes.
And in fact, it did not cost any money to get in there. It might have cost money to wander up, but she did not do that. But Molly, how was it?
It was pretty.
There you go. I hung out outside with our hard cider. So Copenhagen has a reputation for being an expensive city. And so one thing we love to do when we go to any city is go to like TripAdvisor and look at the cheap eats and see what's good. And one of the recommendations was Mad Baron. I'm not even trying to say that, but it's a gourmet pizza place here in Copenhagen. So here's what our pizza looks like. It looks amazing. I'll probably pick the mushrooms off. Molly will probably eat them, but still, 68 Danish kroner. It looks fantastic. So quick review here, the pizza is awesome. I'm not a mushroom fan. I didn't know I ordered mushrooms, so I moved them onto Molly's plate. But like really good value and delicious, delicious thin crust pizza. Another cool like square over here.
The police.
Right now we're at Rosenborg Palace, another one of the places on the Amalia itinerary. And Molly, what is this?
The palace.
It's the palace. So with Rosenborg Palace, you could pick like it's kind of no different than an amusement park. Like you could pick to visit different rooms for different prices, or to buy the combo ticket for 160 krone. So before you go into the reception rooms, which Molly bought us tickets for, you have to put these things on your feet. After the stairs, this is the first room you get to in the palace. This room's pretty cool. Exactly, that's what I was thinking too. With the library and Beauty and the Beast. Those are all books. This room here is the dining hall, and to make like the second Simpsons reference in this video, it totally feels like I'm in Mr. Burns' mansion. This room here is the Great Hall. So kind of neat, if you're in this room, they have guidebooks that you can look at that have the key to the cafeteria, which tells you like who everyone is on every single tapestry in the room. So we picked up the book for the most modern tapestry, and our favorite thing was that, and that's not Donald. Wait a minute, where am I? I gotta go up.
There he goes.
Donald Duck's on there. He was, his comic was published in Denmark in 1949. Another snazzy room over here, big carpet. Really cool, like marble busts. Very haunted mansionist, as I don't have a better example of what these things would be used for. This is the throne room. Kind of cool, get a shot of this with like no one in here. Getting towards the end of the tour now. Big piano in this room. Big Harry Potter mirror over here. This room's the King's Staircase. My favorite part, I'm going to pan around real fast here. Naked Baby Mermaid's Lantern. So we don't finish the official tour, but these pillars here next to what I'm assuming is the gift shop are pretty awesome. So Molly wanted me to mention that like different parts of the castle cost money, but normally this lookout tower all the way up there, that's normally open and free. It's I guess closed for refurbishment as we're here now. But if you're coming in a couple months or years, it might be free for you. Quick look here at what I believe is the official entrance to the Rosenborg Palace. They do have stables here that you could tour, and I imagine they do like horses and formation out here. My friends, one constant, no matter which city you go to in the world, pigeons everywhere. So outside of that architecture center, there's like climbing nets and slides and a couple other things. So if you have kids, adventurous kids, it'd be a good place to take them. So now we're getting a big pedestrian and bicycle bridge over to the other side of the city to go to something else Molly wants to see. I don't really know where we're going at this point. So we're now at the Christ Our Savior Church, because they have a lookout that goes all the way up to the top on a spiral staircase like that. Very reminiscent for me of like the Twosome's Savory Kitchen and Chocolate Feast Emporium over at Universal Orlando. So we're going to go up there next. So guys, turns out we didn't end up going up to the top of the Savory Feast Emporium here. It's supposed to close at 4 o'clock. It started to rain, so they closed up the line way earlier. So we're definitely not going to get to do this one on the trip, but it does look cool. But I would say probably, Molly, you know when this opens? I would probably try and get here right around opening to avoid that big line.
Right now it opens at 9, but I know it depends.
Yeah. So look at the opening time and try to get there then, or else to avoid that big line. Because it does, I mean, that looks really cool. And really unique. Like, there's not a lot of tourist destinations with that kind of spiral staircase thing outside. So this is the entrance to Christiana, also known as Freetown, where marijuana is somewhat legal. Like, you could buy it. There's a whole street where just people are selling weed like crazy. And it's definitely a weird part of town. I can't do things like that because I get fired from my job back in America, but definitely an interesting place. Couldn't do that in Freetown, but did buy a beer for 29 krones, so that's plus.
25.
25. Hey Molly, what time is it?
Beer 30.
Beer 30. Hanging out, drinking on the canal here. Got a giant beer. Probably an overpriced beer, but in a cool location. Look at this thing floating by. Complete with the Danish flag, which is apparently the oldest flag in the world. There you go, Todd.
In terms of value add.
Really cool fountain over here. Complete with like frogs and what kind of thing. And then you also have like this whole like pedestrian walking street with no cars. And a Disney store. That's right, we came halfway across the world and found a Disney store. Ended up getting another street food hot dog here at Dope, which was really, really highly recommended by a lot of people. We got a cheddar sausage hot dog with like fried onions on it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And they'll tell you how it tastes in a minute. Guys, this one's really, really good. I know the two that were popularly recommended was John's, the one we showed earlier in the video, and Dope, which is this one. And Dope, I would say, is way, way better. So in the shopping corridor is a big Lego store, and I love this wall here where it shows like the evolution of the Lego logo all the way to like where it is today. So I love this guy hanging out inside of what I believe is like a big international toy store. Towards the end of that shopping center, you have a really, really cool fountain here with like a kind of like lionfish poking out of it. And then some interesting stuff like this stand over here sells craft beer and cocktails to go. You've got this guy playing Hotel California on whatever he's playing with. And then there's the Drunken Flamingo in Miami bar. Interesting.
Viking.
So I really like their sizes here.
Yeah, no,
small, large, and Viking.
It used to be.
So right outside of the Tivoli Gardens theme park, there's a big food hall. Gotta go grab some food in there. So Molly's gonna get a smoreboard, which is one of these famous Danish open-faced sandwiches. I think she's gonna go with that one there. And there's Molly's sandwich. It's a chicken salad. On our second evening in Copenhagen, we spent it at arguably the city's most famous attraction, and that is the Tivoli Gardens Amusement Park. It is a beautiful little amusement park right in the middle of town, right across from the central station, and we had a really good time there. The star attraction being a 100-year-old roller coaster complete with a brakeman on it. Other star attractions included a whole bunch of wonderfully themed flat rides. I also really liked they had a dark ride themed to the fairy tales of Hans Christian Andersen, which is, of course, a huge deal in Copenhagen, so that was great. And the park itself, it was just beautiful to walk around. So if you're going to Copenhagen, I would have to recommend you go to Tivoli Gardens, especially if you're into rides and roller coasters. So if you need a fancy drink while you're here in Copenhagen, the upstairs bar at the Nemo Hotel here is just amazing. Like, look at this place. They've got this great cocktail list, like 100% craft cocktails. And it's really just stunning. Hey everyone, going to show you a little bit around where we're staying while we're in Copenhagen. We're staying at the Wake Up Copenhagen Hotel. Pretty cheap. This costs us about $79 a night American. And it's definitely a small hotel room, but it's very clean, it's very modern. And it's really got everything you need if you're traveling like you and your, probably somebody you're dating or yourself, because it's kind of cuddly in that bed. A very modern little shower here. Pretty simple room, but I liked it. Great location. Probably a 10-minute walk to the central station in Tivoli Gardens, and it ticked all the boxes for me. Before heading to the castle, stop by this bakery to grab some breakfast. Molly got some sort of a Danish with sprinkles and probably cream cheese or icing on there. And I think I ordered a pizza. Look at these bakery treats. And we have made it to the castle here. Apparently this is where they store the crown jewels, according to Molly. And it's really pretty. So we had a little bit of time. We got here early before the castle opens up. And so there's a park right next to it. This cool playground. Oop, Molly's in the way of pedestrian. There's that dude over there. In the middle of the park is this weird fountain of a dude riding a goose. Right outside the castle, they have this pretty gardens area. And then you can see the castle over there, complete with like a moat around it. So I'm hoping it's going to pick up on the camera, but there's fish in the moat. So time to go into the castle, and we're going to take this entrance here. Got this really cool lion statues. Yeah, really, really pretty looking. Not sure what's going on with this lion here. He looks surprised. Does have a very like old-timey feel to it. There's like these creepy kids watching you come in. So we just got done with the Rosenborg Castle. Probably more of Molly's thing than my thing. So what was your thoughts on the castle experience here?
Oh, I loved it. I love how old everything is and how detailed, and it was very very different to see things from 1500s and 1600s. Granted, the majority I think is 1700s. But like the Great Hall with the giant lions.
Yeah,
and
it was interesting too, because the first two floors are very similar, and then you get to the third floor, which is where the Great Hall is, and it's just like one giant room. I loved how everything was like ornate and really, really detailed, from like the ceilings to the picture frames, and everything's sculpted. And some of the sculptures were really, really weird.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It was.
Also, I'm surprised how trusting they are.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not what you see if you go to a museum or something like that in America, because like everything, there's so much stuff you could just walk right up to. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to touch anything, but there's nothing stopping you from doing so.
Yeah.
And
except for the crowns. The crowns are very
Oh yeah.
there.
Yes.
Like, it's definitely not safe.
Yes, that was interesting. I would say also for me, like a lot of it felt like Beauty and the Beast before everything comes to life.
Yeah.
Like with the giant cupboards and the dish room and things like that. But I thought it was neat. I definitely more of Molly's thing than my thing. But there, I'm also happy we did this on the sober morning, as I would have not wanted to come in there after I had as much to drink as I did yesterday, because there's a whole bunch of crap that you could break from, uneven floors and that kind of thing. So there's a tip: if you're drinking around Copenhagen, come to the castle before you start drinking. Oh, and also they don't let you bring your purse in, so Molly had to put in a free locker outside, a la like Universal Studios on a roller coaster. Up next here in Copenhagen is the Round Tower. So that's the way it is. It's like you walk up these giant ramps to get on top. And up we go. There's like a big, I was going to say spiral staircase, but it's a big spiral ramp. So halfway up the tower is this really odd art thing. So made it up to the top, and this is the view you get. Pretty cool. Also, you can see like Copenhagen's a weird city, like not a lot of tall buildings, like a lot of major cities have. Should mention also it's 25 krone to come up here to the Round Tower. At the very top is an observatory. So much like Cedar Point, Copenhagen also has a Valraven. Apparently it's a traditional Viking drink, but they're not open yet. So this is really cool. This gift shop here has an animatronic of Hans Christian Andersen. A really cool kind of like dancing fountain here in this square. My favorite part is this pigeon using it as a bird bath. I'm gonna grab an early lunch here at this food hall. So the food hall was the next one. This is kind of like a shopping market, flea market thing. We found this chocolate restaurant, and they've got chocolate frogs, like in Harry Potter, Molly.
Yeah.
Except they're like booze flavored. Well, definitely gonna have one of these. So this store here sells different types of empanadas. They all look wonderful. I also like how they give it in like 3 different languages. And look at these desserts. Those look amazing, but they're probably so messy. I mean, there's no way I can pass this up. It's pizza beer. It really tastes more like a beer than pizza. It is taco time. Carne asada. It looks amazing. Guys, I really enjoyed the city. Like, there's so many. A lot of these roads were just like pedestrians, and then, I mean, you can drink wherever you want. And it's weird because you don't really see like a ton of people drinking, like on the street. And it's probably because it's like 11:30 on a Thursday morning. But I love it. It's so cool. And just like that, it's like we're back at Gatlinburg. They've got a Guinness Book of World Records museum, as you've seen in pretty much every single tourist trap. Doesn't seem to fit in as much here in Copenhagen, but it's here. So I love a good tourist trap attraction, and right next to the Guinness Museum is the Mystic Exploratory. I'm not even really sure what it is, but we bought our tickets and going in. All right, so we do a lot of tourist trap style attractions. Molly, how does this one rank?
Probably the worst.
Yeah, like one of the worst ones I've ever been to. It's really bad. It's short, it's tiny, lots of stuff's broken. It is
It's odd.
It's odd and bad. So we went to the Hotel Chocolat, which is like a fancy chocolate store. Like, look at this dog. But my favorite thing, they have like chocolate liquors. Like, this looks so neat. Like, we have to hop on a plane, so we really can't do anything like this. But they've got cocoa gin, salted caramel vodka liqueur.
That sounds amazing.
Oh man, that's gonna be the winner. Chocolate cream liqueur.
Yeah.
Our time in Copenhagen's running short, but man, this place definitely had my attention. If we saw that yesterday, it would have been going down. More tourist trap goodness here. You've got a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum. Then you've got like a Hans Christian Andersen walkthrough exhibit thing. I think we're gonna do that. Quick look at the lobby area, the Ripley's Believe It or Not. I like this like pterodactyl. I don't know what it's made out of. Spinning man. Wacky Terminator thing. So attached to the Ripley's is a Hans Christian Andersen museum, and we just walked through, and it was really neat. You learn about the life of Hans Christian Andersen, and then you go through some really cool vignettes of the stories with, like some small-scale animatronics and special effects. Honestly, I thought it was really neat. Guys, I'm a huge dork, and I just found some brochures for theme parks that we're not going to on this trip, but I'm definitely going to read through them. Almost out of time here in Copenhagen, so just grabbed some quick food right in the train station. Molly got a good deal. Her sandwich, chicken, bacon, and cheese was like 35 kroner. I got a cheeseburger for 64, and some chili cheese bites. All right, guys, that'll do it for Copenhagen. All right, we had about 48 hours in the city. It was wonderful. We got to hop on this plane right here in about 10 to 15 minutes to go over to our next stop, which is Amsterdam. But this is our first time we ever went to Copenhagen. I loved it. Molly, I think you kind of feel the same way.
Oh yeah, it was a wonderful city. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. What were some of your favorite parts?
The canal tour, hands down. I love the canal tour. It was a great price.
Yeah,
and
huge value.
Oh yeah, especially if you only have so little time. Like, we only had 48 hours, and it let us see so much. And it was relaxing, and I loved it.
You could drink a giant beer.
Oh yeah.
For me, first of all, I love the beer in the city. You just drink wherever you want, and I thought that was wonderful. Really helped the vacation be relaxing. I'm a theme park guy, so I love going to the weird European theme parks. Tivoli Gardens was beautiful, and Bakken was weird.
Bakken was very, very different.
Yeah, so I love that. I found the city was very, very clean, very, very friendly, very easy to get around. And overall, I think I give it a big thumbs up. I liked our hotel.
Oh yeah.
You know, I also think like 2 days we saw a lot. Like I feel like that's a good amount of time. If you're not going like outside of the city.
You could probably do it in 3. Like we were rushed.
Yeah, we were a little
To do
rushed.
everything. I would say 3, but like we saw everything in 48 hours. You planned everything.
Yeah. And it had a reputation for being too expensive. I didn't find it to be that expensive, but as you noticed in the video, we did not eat at like a lot of fancy restaurants or sit down and
You
get
have
a
to
meal
do
and
your
that kind
research.
of thing. Yeah.
You have to do your research to eat cheap.
Favorite thing you ate while we were here?
Oh, I don't know.
My favorites were the hot dog from Dope and the pizza.
The pizza really stood out in my mind. But I really liked the empanada that we had.
Yeah, that was good too.
Like, that was really good.
All right, guys. Well, if you're one of our subscribers, thanks for watching. Stay tuned because the next video will come up from Amsterdam. And if you're doing your research before heading out to Copenhagen, you're going to enjoy it because it was a really cool place.
Wonderful city.
Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, let us know in the comment section below. I'll do my best to answer them. And thanks for watching, guys. At the end of the video here, just wanted to include some footage from that canal tour we went on to show off just what kind of awesome stuff you could see from the boat tour.